So people wanted to hear the Mbox, the new one from Avid, and they wanted to hear the microphone takes. So what I was going to do, so let me set this up here, people, is what I was going to try to do with this was explain to you there's a lot of different ways that you can hear this. So if you got a crappy microphone, I'm going to have to go into some in-depth research as far as I'm concerned. I'll open up a song that I did, but it was mixed. So the mixing has a lot to do with what you're hearing. Also capturing it through an Elise's video track, and I don't want you to get this all confused. But we'll go into this and let you hear what it sounds like. Actually clock it too. I'm sort of curious how they how this little video track's gonna have it. But I could like dub in the audio so you can hear it live, but I may do that. But this is an unreleased track from a client, so here you go. This is what you got. This is the M audio, but it's got an Avalon on it, so. But the first signal that came in was good.
Joseph, by the first white track, how do I resist? He ran leaving coke, naked with emotion. How do I cope? Love so strong, had to have her around you, mama. Nothing.
Okay, so now let me explain something. That's not just the Mbox, but that was the beginning. What I want to tell people out here is, if you start with that, you'll get that kind of result with the right engineer. Which I think that sounds better than most things as far as vocal takes. A little bit of outboard gear, but I've never really just ran the preamp alone. I actually lay off that preamp a little bit, run it out to my master link, and then digital out to the 002, so I bypass, you know, what everybody's been talking about. They got terrible preamps and converters and all that. So, ran it out to that. It went through the Avalon and the Manly, actually. So, what I'm trying to tell you is you're not going to go wrong buying an Mbox if you plan on having somebody else mix it. So if you're a professional, if you record at home and you get the basic structures down in the basic Pro Tools session with a product like Avid's Mbox, what you're going to find out is the sky's the limit as far as you get around the right people, the right mixing engineers. It's one thing about the music business I can still not figure out. I've been mixing for 10 years to get to where I'm at. Actually about 12. And about 12 years ago, if I would have thought what I know now, I would have waited 12 years to turn on an album. So why not get around a person like myself or somebody else that's been doing this for quite some time and can offer you the best of the best of both worlds, the best of the technical, creative, as well as if you have a song that you think could be up for a Grammy. I mean, get a Grammy mix. A Grammy doesn't just give the artist a Grammy. The Grammy gives the producers, the mastering, the mixing, the editing, and the whole team to make it happen. And I think a lot of people get that selfish, or I don't have the money atmosphere, that they don't want to invest in themselves. And I think that's one of the killers. So hope you guys pay attention to that and understand that, you know, it takes more than just one person to make this all possible. It takes a team. It takes a team of people. I mean, Dr. Dre, he has engineers. I mean, people see him as a producer, but he's got musicians. The thing is, he may do some of the mixing, but he also has somebody come in and help out. I mean, Snoop Dogg's not his own engineer. T.I.'s not his own engineer. Young Jeezy's not his own engineer. I mean, so you got to understand that these guys go to these places to get that high-end quality, and that's just so having what I do, so I'm sort of promoting myself. So think about that. I mean, just think about that long and hard. Be like, well, this is what I want to do for a living. Then get around the professionals that can make you. If you think you're professional, then get around the professionals that know they're professional in the recording atmosphere. Two more things. Recording is different than mixing. Mixing is different than mastering. When you record, you just get the signals in. The only thing you got to worry about is don't distort it. If you're trying to make it loud on your own, realize that there's engineers that why we perceive to have this bigger sound and better sound is we utilize tools such as compression, dynamics, equalization to be able to bring up the levels in a correct manner instead of just turning the volume up and wondering why your CD's not as loud or as big as another CD. The mixing stage take care of all of this. It'll take care of issues with different instruments not working together, vocals, if they sound a little bit too bright, too low, too fat, too skinny. And then the mastering stage will take the whole track, all the tracks, combine them into a bounce down to 2-track, or maybe separate mastering, where vocals and just instruments, and you utilize it to get the picture you were trying to paint, and use some of the highest converters, highest compressors and limiters and things like that to achieve the best sonic overall quality, so it sounds good on everything. And that's part of the mix too. A great mixing engineer will lead to an awesome, great master, and a bad mix, well, it is what it is, people. So just believe me when I say this. Take this serious if you take your music serious. If you don't take your music serious and you're just doing it to mess around, then you might just pass up an opportunity of having a great song and it lost out because it just didn't sound right. So that's what I gotta say.